Hello and thank you for listening to Dragon Wagon Radio. My name is Jake Lloyd Bacon, co-founder of the network, just popping in briefly because it is that time of the year once again. March 2024 marks the 7-year anniversary of Dragon Wagon Radio. For 7 years, we've done the best we can to bring you the most professional podcasts possible. We continue to cultivate communities of people from all over the world, bonded by their love for a wide variety of topics. Dragon Wagon has produced 20 different podcasts, over 1,800 individual episodes with millions of downloads, all completely free to you. So we humbly ask, in honor of our 7th anniversary, that you consider showing your support and playing a part in keeping our shows free always. There are tons of ways that you can help. First and foremost, please check out our shop at dragonwagonshop.com. A fantastic collection of high-quality merchandise is available to you for reasonable prices. You can also visit our support page where you can find a link to make a donation directly and even an Amazon wish list. That's at dragonwagon.com/support. Some of our shows have individual Patreon accounts where they offer additional material. Please consider becoming monthly patrons if that's available. Additionally, leaving a rating and review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify costs you absolutely nothing and goes a really long way to help. Lastly, consider sharing your favorite podcasts with your friends. Share clips or quotes on social media. Most shows have their own accounts, but you can also follow at It's Dragon Wagon on all major social media platforms. So thanks again for another fantastic year, for being a dedicated listener, and as always, for being the best part of Dragon Wagon Radio. Happy anniversary, and here's to another great year of your favorite indie podcast network. Now let's get this show started.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to High School Never Ends, a pop punk dad podcast. I am Wingman Steve.
And I am Chris 183. And ladies and gentlemen, it is March. It is a new month. That means we have new things on the horizon here at High School Never Ends. We had such a great time in February with February Folly, but we had to follow that up with something very special, just like we normally do. And what we wanted to do this time around is bring something back in a different way. So last year in 2023, we brought to you something that we had a great time with by the name of Drive-Through Summer. And during the Drive-Through Summer, we were able to go through some of our favorite albums and bands that were on the label Drive-Through Records, right? We had a blast with that, talking about those albums for the most part. For the most part, I think I might have had some things to say about some of that. But that said, in 2024, we were like, maybe we should do something similar. So what better time than March to do it all again? And we're calling it Fueled by March. Wingman Steve, do you know what that means?
It means that we couldn't come up with a really good name and incorporate Fueled by Ramen into a month. So we just went with Fueled by March. And I think that's good enough.
I do too. I think it's great enough. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get the opportunity to go through some of our favorite albums and maybe not so favorite albums. We shall see that are associated with the label Fueled by Ramen. Man, this was a pretty cool exercise to kind of identify which ones that were going to be on the list for this time around. But we felt that there really was no better way to kick things off than to do it with an album by a band that people have been asking us for a long time now to cover, right, Steve? People have been saying, hey, how come you haven't done this band yet? And I don't think we've had a good reason why.
There really is no good reason why, other than the fact they have a whole lot of albums. So we were like, well, should we do one of those like full album shows? And then I think we had it planned, but then it got scrapped. But this is the perfect opportunity because I think this album, we'll learn a little bit more about it, but I think this is kind of their breakthrough into pop punk, into somewhat mainstream radio, and this band has blown the fuck up. They just won a Grammy for the best rock album. I'm pretty sure they're the first female-fronted band to ever win that award, which is pretty cool. And overall, there's just not a whole lot of female-fronted pop punk in this scene. So to shine a light on it for at least this episode, I think is certainly worthy, and maybe more later.
So you haven't said it, and I'll say it. So the band is Paramore, in case you didn't know that. And the album is the 2007 album Riot, which apparently is one of their better ones.
I think, Chris, I think you have to say there's an exclamation point at the end of the word. I think you need to exclaim it a little better.
That's all the enthusiasm you're going to get out of me for this album.
Riot!
Because I'll tell you what, I have some opinions. However, we figured we'd bring somebody else on the show that also has some opinions about the band Paramore and this album, fresh off her appearance from High School Never Ends Jeopardy. It is returning guest, Krystin. Krystin, are you out there?
You know what? I'm here, and I'm so glad that you brought me here to redeem myself after that. What was it? Negative 600 points in Jeopardy. I'm stoked.
we stopped counting, and we identified this record, and I don't remember how we thought that you were a Paramore fan, but we sent you a message and we're like, hey, are we crazy, or have we seen stuff that you were a fan of this band? And your response was?
My response was, yeah. So I have been on every single Parahoy. I've been going to Paramore shows since I was 15 years old. I saw them on the Shira Girls stage at Warped Tour when they were just starting in 2005. I don't even think All We Know Is Falling was quite out yet. So yeah, we go way back. So I think I've seen them about 18 times now.
Wow. So perfect. It ended up being the absolute perfect choice. And we certainly look forward to hearing your thoughts about the band and about this album. However, because it's Fueled by March, just want to start with a little conversation about Fueled by Ramen Records. So, I mean, I think for me personally, maybe for all of us or people listening, Drive Thru Records was a huge record label, right? And it's probably one of the ones that people remember in this scene. And I feel like Fueled by Ramen is, it's not quite at that level, but I think that it's well known. It's got a fun name, and I think people do remember it. There have been some huge acts on Fueled by Ramen. They were founded in Gainesville, Florida, by John Janik and Less Than Jake's Vinnie Fiorelli in 1996. So, a Less Than Jake connection there. Their first major success was 1998. They put out Jimmy Eat World self-titled album, but they've had giant artists since then. They've had A Day to Remember, All Time Low, Paramore, Fall Out Boy, The Academy Is, Cobra Starship, Punchline, Panic at the Disco, and many, many, many more. So I guess I wanted to ask you guys, do you feel any loyalty or anything in your heart about Fueled by Ramen, or is it just kind of another record label?
Go ahead, Krystin. You're the guest. Answer the question.
Well, thank you. Fueled by Ramen means a lot to me because when I think of Fueled by Ramen, I think of my childhood. I think of my high school years. All the bands that you listed are the bands that I grew up seeing at Warped Tour and following around the country. So absolutely. When you look at their repertoire, come on. Jimmy Eat World, Panic at the Disco, Fall Out Boy, all those bands they have longevity too. So they knew what they were doing. So yeah, there's a lot of nostalgia for me with Fueled by Ramen.
Yeah, I don't understand your question, but I think that what you're saying. So here, let me ask you a question based on your question. Do you think does this label, were they just really good at identifying talent, or did they just sign bands that they saw that were blowing up and brought them to Fueled by Ramen?
No, I think they identified them before they got big, and they did have major record label ties to them. So they had kind of, by some of those later years, they had funding and resources behind them. But Fall Out Boy signed with them before they were anybody. And honestly, I'm just going to talk out of my ass and just say, I think the fact that Fall Out Boy blew up so big, so quick, and then possibly introduced them to bands like Panic at the Disco, which followed in those footsteps. They had a lot of good roots when you think about this. At least for me, I think about the early 2000s, 2003, 2005. This is when Punchline, Fall Out Boy, when they were starting to get into it. So I feel like they were good at identifying. I don't think that they really signed people after they blew up. Maybe like, okay, Cobra Starship, they were signed to Fueled by Ramen, and Midtown had already been a big band, so it was Gabe Saporta. But I think that they just had their ear to the ground. I mean, when one of your founding members is in Less Than Jake, you probably have a pretty good connection to the scene.
Yeah, but I think, for me, this is just for me, because these bands that are on Fueled by Ramen generally were not some of my favorite of this type of this genre throughout this time. I feel like this definitely took second fiddle to bands that I listened to that were on other labels. So maybe it didn't necessarily have that big of a connection with me personally because of that. Because to be completely honest with you, I think you've heard my thoughts about Fall Out Boy. Like, it's not all bad, but it's not fantastic. Like, there's some things that I kind of like, but mostly I will pass. And I think it's kind of the same thing for a lot of the bands on this label. Not all of them, but a lot of them.
Fair enough. So it didn't. I guess you did answer my question, which was like kind of like, did the label connect with you? And it doesn't sound like the label necessarily connected with you because of the bands. They didn't specifically connect with you. I'm gonna just stop saying words.
Yep.
English is hard. It really is.
I've bad mouth today.
Bad mouth syndrome. Yeah. So I mean, and I think especially this band, and I apologize to 15-year-old Krystin in advance for the rain, what I'm going to bring down on some of these, how I'm going to dismantle some of these songs. I may be exaggerating, but I really apologize to young Krystin in advance, because I do not want to shatter all of her hopes and dreams and all of her good feelings about this band that she had. So
you could never shatter my dreams with Paramore. No, I think it's refreshing, because I feel like because they've blown up so much, I don't really come across a lot of people who aren't big Paramore fans. So I'm not going to say, I'm going to agree probably with a lot that you're saying, but I'm interested in what you have to say.
Mm-hmm. Most people are. So,
Absolutely. And I think my Paramore fandom, if you will, is also a question. I haven't really spoken about Paramore a lot. And I would probably just say that, like, I'm kind of, I guess, an ancillary fan. I've never purchased a Paramore record. I've heard all of the singles that have come out. I enjoy them. And honestly, when I go to like emo nights, and especially the karaoke ones, there's like 8 Paramore songs on there, because I think that the bands want to make sure that there are songs that ladies feel comfortable getting up and singing, or at least that, they're the primary singer. So I've heard like a million Paramore songs. I think that, all of them are pretty good. I'm not really a fan. I'm not a fan. I would never turn them off. But I also probably wouldn't go out of my way to listen or purchase a new Paramore album. And at this point in time, they're big enough that they are on the radio, on certain channels. So they've kind of crossed into that mainstream. So, I'm kind of okay with Paramore. I've seen them. I went back into my archives. I saw them twice. The first time, they were the opening band in 2005. It was Paramore, the Plain White Tees, and Stray Light Run was the headliner. That was the band that was the offshoot of Taking Back Sunday when John Nolan left the band, and I love Stray Light Run. And then I saw them in 2014 because they opened on a pretty big tour for Fall Out Boy. So they were the first band in that one. And
Monumentor.
Is that the name of it? I forget. Monumentor.
I went to the Raleigh, North Carolina, and the Charlotte date when that tour came through.
It's only like 2.5 hours away. Like, you should go to both.
Absolutely. I wouldn't miss it.
And, I know that we've talked about them blowing up, but, they won the Grammy. They also, like, the first When We Were Young festival, like, they headlined it. Like, it was them and My Chemical Romance headlined the first festival. So, I mean, the popularity has grown over the years since they formed back a long time ago.
Yep.
2003. I never went to a Paramore concert. I don't go to concerts that often. You guys could just talk about concerts. Why don't you just have your own podcast, where you call it like Concert Cast or something?
That's a good idea.
Yeah,
I like that.
I'm not going to be on that one.
Krystin, don't worry about Chris. He's in the business of misery. So
let's take it from the top.
I knew that was coming. I knew that was going to come eventually, and I was the one that's going to crack that joke. You took it from me.
You set it up.
And I'm not happy about that. I'm not that happy.
I
right.
apologize. But all right,
Well,
so we're here.
I'll be fake happy. I'm just gonna drop song titles. I'm so sorry.
Do it. So we're here to talk about the album Riot from 2007. Came out June 12th in 2007. Their second studio album, produced by I gotta look at this. Produced by David Dendeth. It got up to number 15 on the Billboard Top 200. It went triple platinum. And one interesting fact that I read about this is that originally the album was supposed to come out on Atlantic Records, which is like the major label, but the marketing people thought that it would be better for Paramore's image to not be on a major label, so they released it on Fueled by Ramen. So I think Fueled by Ramen is probably happy about that, and I guess it probably ended up being a good idea.
So that was a lot of Haley too. So Haley was there's a lot of backstory with labels as far as Haley herself. She was signed to Sony while the band was signed as a whole to Fueled by Ramen.
Because she was signed when she was like 13, right?
Yes. And so she was the
research.
Nailed it. Yep, she was the one who was the primary. They basically wanted to turn her into Avril Lavigne. And she just didn't want to do that. She wanted to go the route of being in a band. She had, her best friends in Paramore, they played music together in a funk band before Paramore ever existed. And she wanted to keep that going. So she really advocated for Paramore to be a band and not just, an Avril Lavigne clone, But yeah, so that's how kind of they originated.
Do you remember the first time that you heard this record?
Oh man, the first time I heard this record, I was 17, and I think I was just in my room vibing. That's usually how I like to listen to music, either in my car or just through headphones blaring. But pretty sure 17.
Was it a compact disc?
Hell, yes, it was. It was. It was on my Walkman. Absolutely, it was a compact disc. I actually purchased CDs well until they weren't that very much cool anymore. But I also, of course, had the digital copy of Riot on my, iPod Nano.
Yep.
Impressive.
They had iPod Touches in 2007, in case,
Did they?
you were wondering. Yes.
Okay.
I didn't have one.
Yeah,
I just know they were out there. Yeah.
I had some cheap knockoff MP3 player, but it worked.
You had a
Zune.
Zune.
Was fine.
Zune is what you had.
I think I had one even ghettoer than that, but I might have had a Zune also.
The core memory with Zune.
Mm-hmm. I didn't have that at all. I didn't have an iPod. I just listened to music on my CDs. That's it. That's all I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do all that other stuff. I didn't know how.
I was an early adopter to the digital shift, but
Yeah.
but a frugal one. So I couldn't afford the full blown Apple product. Whatever they sold at like Sears for $40 is what I had.
Hit clips? No.
Wasn't that thing that came preloaded with some songs?
Yeah, and I'm sure Misery Business was on there, but that is not a dig at that song. Look, I'm with you, Steve. I didn't get into this album at all when it was out. I heard the hits, which maybe turned me off because I don't really love them. But all in all, like I did go into this, Krystin, with an open mind, and I'll tell you, it's not all bad. So I'm looking forward to going through this because I think she does some things in this album that really stand out and really kind of show some of the things that the hits don't show that she's able to do from a lyrical standpoint. Very dynamic at times, and there's other times where it's basically a pop song. So but we'll get into that here as we kind of go song by song because I don't want to ruin it all. But that's just overall what my thoughts were on this album, and I just wanted to throw that out there because I don't want you guys to think I'm going to trash everything.
Well, and just so we start off on the right foot, and so you don't get roasted by the Paramore fans out there. Sorry, my cats are fighting. Anytime you refer to Paramore, definitely refer to them as they. Anytime that's referred to as she or anything like just Haley, people are like, it's a band. So just FYI.
Oh, well, that's going to be tough because my notes just don't read that way, but I'll do my best. How about that?
Absolutely.
Quick alterations and quick little story. I think the first time that I was majorly exposed to them, funny enough, was through Guitar Hero, because Misery Business was on one of the, I think it was Band Hero, maybe. Like, it was the one where there was a microphone. So it was not the first couple Guitar Heroes, but it was after that. And I just I would rock Misery Business like over and over. And anybody who was at my house, like female that was playing along, would want to sing that one. That's the one that they would want to do. So that's how I got into that song. So I do talk about Guitar Hero a little bit too much, but it holds a special place.
Hell yeah.
Nice. They should have put Avril Lavigne on Guitar Hero. How come they didn't do that?
I believe they did.
Yeah.
I think it was downloadable content. I had Guitar Hero on a Wii, so everything's on on an SD card. I still have it. I still play it every now and then. But I think there was some Avril somewhere. There must be.
I hope so. I hope it was an avalanche of good music.
An avalanche. All right, we ready? We ready to riot?
That is our cue. Correct.
That is our cue. So why don't we start with track number 1, which it's funny, in this like era, there's a lot of like long, like drawn out names of songs. I think, Fall Out Boy and Panic at the Disco are probably more guilty of this, but this one, I guess, is a little bit. For a pessimist, I'm pretty optimistic. There's no parentheses or anything, but Krystin, we're going to have you kick this whole thing off. Tell us what you think about this first track.
This is actually my favorite intro song they've ever done. I like that they don't, step around anything and immediately they hit you with da 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 da. There's no build up. It's just straight up power pump. So I would say this was my favorite intro out of all of their albums.
Strong opinion. Favorite of all the albums. Okay. All right. Fine. I think that that's a very strong opinion. Steve, what did you think about the intro track here? You've already said the name of it, so I'm not going to say it again.
For a pessimist, I am pretty optimistic about this track. Mm-hmm. I think that fits perfectly. It definitely kicks off with like a whole lot of energy. I like the right before the chorus, there's like a slowdown. I think the chorus is pretty strong. To me, the drumming on this track like really does stand out. I think I made some notes that the bridge didn't blow me away. You were finished long before we even seen this. That part didn't blow me away, but I think overall, I think that it is a really good start to the album, and I thought it was a good song.
That's what I love about it, is just the energy that they bring. I feel like a lot of bands in that era were doing a lot of kind of instrumental intros or, really building up. I love that they didn't mess around. They just came at you with a lot of energy. I'm really glad that you mentioned the drumming. I think Zach Farrow is a highly underrated drummer, especially since he was only, I think he was only like 16 or 17 at the time. He was young. So for him to be so young and to just have the chops like that, I think it's impressive.
It's also pretty good. I'm not a sound engineer or anything like that, but in terms of the mixing, like to make the drums sound good but not overwhelming, I think is probably a good thing to do. So I think that it shows well.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what people say about me, that I sound good but I'm not overwhelming. Do you agree with that, Steve?
I say that to people all the time.
Mm-hmm. Look, I think this is a pretty good start. Pretty cool start is what I said. So I'll give him that, right? I think overall, you guys said a little bit of what I have here. I don't really love, and look, when I say Haley, it's because that's her voice. Mm-hmm. So she is yelling at me for breaking up with her in this song, and I don't like that. Like, I don't like to be yelled at. So that kind of takes me away. But I kind of get away from the lyrics a little bit and listen to the music. That's my thing. And I like the way that this song is structured. I like that you have the lyrical burst and then you have music. And then you have lyrical burst with the drums kind of more prevalent behind it. Then you have another patch of music with like a little bit of a guitar solo. Then it slows down a little bit. Then you have your chorus. So I like the way that kind of goes back and forth. It's kind of like a seesaw of lyric music, slow chorus. Like it's a really good arrangement. And for the song itself, I like that they came in a little bit heavier with the song, with their sound. Maybe heavy isn't the right word. Maybe it's faster tempo. Maybe it's just a bigger sound. I don't know. The song still has its chill spots too, which is cool. It mixes it in well. The music was catchy enough. I think it was safe. It was a safe catchy, but it was catchy. So all in all, like this song didn't piss me off. Like I felt like it really kind of set the tone for something that wanted me to listen, like got me to want to listen to more. So I give this song a lot of credit because going into it with a bad attitude, it kind of broke that right away to an extent. I have a couple other things here. So the guitar work, I know you guys talked about the drums, but I thought the guitar work here was pretty good, like really good, pretty dynamic too. And I really like some of the soloing, you know, at about like 250-ish in the song. Like that really, that's my thing. So when you hear that kind of mixed in out of nowhere, that like that's cool stuff, right? You don't expect that in a song like this. So love that they kind of mixed that in. It just added to the overall flair of the song. So all in all, again, a nice package and a good way to kick things off on this album.
Krystin, I want to ask you a question. Chris talked about kind of like song construction, and you know, I listen to that Krystin Makes podcast a lot. So some of these things point out to me. I feel like in this album, the song construction is very simple. A lot of the time it's, you know, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, bridge, chorus, chorus. Like that is kind of like that. Later on in Paramore's discography, without really me knowing the full albums, do you think that they get a little bit different and weird and experiment, or do they kind of stick to the pop punk formula, you think?
I think they absolutely share their sound, which a lot of people find controversial. It's definitely a topic of contention with Paramore fans. You know, a lot of people really hung on to their pop punk sound, and that was Paramore to them. Now, I would even argue that they're more so an indie band.
Yeah, my wife likes the new stuff, but doesn't like any of the previous stuff because she doesn't really like pop punk, but she likes indie stuff.
Yeah. So from a fan standpoint, I love it when a band evolves. And honestly, I love that they kind of made the sound that they want to play. I think they're definitely at a point in their career where they can do so. Did they lose a lot of pop punk fans? Probably. But a lot of fans just stayed true to it because I think at the core, Paramore's energy is still there. I think when you listen, it's still Paramore, even though their sound is a little bit more beachy, indie. Honestly, they love Talking Heads, so I think they just want to be the Talking Heads.
Makes sense. All right, want to move on to the next track?
Yeah, let's go. Krystin, go ahead and kick us off.
Absolutely. So the next track you get, I would argue that this is the second biggest song on the album after Misery Business. It got quite a lot of radio play. It got quite a lot of play on MTV, which, gosh, that brings me back. Good old TRL. Yeah, so this one is just a straightforward bop. It's meant to be a fun song. It is not meant to be complex. That is for sure. The guitar styling's pretty simple, but rhythmically and vocally, I mean, I think they blended it so well. It's just a fun song.
All right. I guess I'll go next. Yeah, that's what I get for getting all excited about the first song and then going into this one. So this is one of those hits. I think this was a radio hit, right? This is one of the ones I was talking about. So all in all, again, you know, overall theme of the song, she's still pretty mad, you know, about the breakup at me, and that's what Paramore, they are writing about in this one particularly. Which, whatever, that's fine. I get it. I like continuity, no problem with that. But the sound, the music, boring. I just think it's just blah. Like, I don't see anything that exciting about this song whatsoever. The melody is not interesting to me. I don't think the guitar does anything noteworthy. And I don't know if it's a slower tempo. It just doesn't come off as pleasing to my ears. So this song is not for me in any way, shape, or form. It never was. Every time I turn it on, every time it came on, I would turn it off. That's just how I feel. But and Steve, I'm sorry, the gang vocal burst did not bring it back. It actually made it worse.
I don't agree with that part. But let me ask you, let me just make sure, because just like Chris said in the last track, a lot of times I'm not diving into the lyrics and dissecting them, but sometimes they're a little cryptic. So is she basically saying that like when you lead with your heart, like you're going to end up getting burned? So it's kind of satirical.
Yeah. So
is that the sentiment?
So she was in an interesting place during this album, and she later goes on to kind of edit the lyrics that she sings, specifically on Ms. Biz, but we'll get to that. Mm-hmm. She very much so likes
Ms. Biz, Chris. That's Misery Business.
She very much so likes to echo and remind people that she was a 16 or 17-year-old girl.
Sure. But that's what she's talking about, right? She's saying when you lead with your heart, you get burned.
Yeah, and I think when you listen to this album, and I think that's also why it's so nostalgic to me, I think we all went through exactly what she's going through at this time in her life. We had that high school sweetheart that we thought was the one, and we were scorned. So yeah, she writes a lot about.
No, I never had that. I'm sorry, I never had it.
He was a scorner. Anyways, the reason why I wanted to clarify that is because I think that makes me appreciate it even more, because, they're writing these lyrics about like basically like getting burned, but it sounds like an upbeat poppy song that you can just sing and scream along to. It doesn't sound like a pessimist or, a negative attitude towards this person. It sounds enthusiastic and fun. This is the perfect pop/pop punk crossover track. And the album had 4 singles: Misery Business 1, Hallelujah 2. I had to do a little research. I think Hallelujah was mostly in the UK and not the US. Then Crush, Crush, Crush. And then this one. If I was that marketing team, which obviously they're pretty smart, they maybe are smarter than me, I would have led off with this one, because I think this one can transition into, if you're thinking about back when we're in 2007, it's not just TRL, but it's, top 40 radio. I think this is the track that crosses over better than Misery Business. Misery Business is more of a punk track. This is that punk/pop punk. It's more of like a power pop ballad. But I love the chill vibe in this. It's got this like tambourine. It's just kind of hanging out. I think there are some really cool guitar transitions. The chorus is super strong. The belting out of the whoa-ohs is fantastic. I did appreciate the gang vocals and the clap along towards the end. So I think all in all, this is a pretty perfect like pop punk single. And I would have probably led with this one if I was the marketing team. Not that there's anything wrong with Misery Business, but I think that this one could have, or maybe that's a plan. Maybe you lead with the punkier one and then do the poppier one later. I don't know. It's not like I work in marketing, But anyway, not music marketing. Anyways, so I really liked That's What You Get. I think it's fantastic. It's a great track.
It's just fun.
Are we listening to the same song? I don't know. I don't think so. If I could eliminate clap-alongs in anywhere in life, like, I think that would be great. I think that would be fantastic. Clap-alongs ruin every single song. I'm sorry. No one needs to clap on top of a song that I'm listening to.
Do you like to clap in person?
Clapping. You can clap after the song in appreciation to the artist, but do not clap during the song. So that's silly.
If the singer's on stage and they're doing this thing and they want the crowd to clap along, you just stand there with your arms crossed?
I just stand there angry because it doesn't make any sense.
It adds to the fun. Ain't it fun? It's fun.
Yeah, but okay, you think fun. You said this song was fun. I don't know what the hell you think is fun. And let me tell you something else. This is nothing against your opinion, because I appreciate you, Steve. I really do. We've been doing this for a long time.
Sounds very cross.
We seem eye to eye, but on this one, you saying the things you did with that crossover to pop punk, dude, if this is pop punk, I don't know. Maybe I'm on the wrong show because this does not sound anything like pop punk at all. This sounds like a pop song that isn't very good.
Krystin, do you like Hey Monday? Do you like Cassidy Pope?
I do. I love Hey Monday. I don't love everything that Hey Monday did, but I like a lot of what
I feel like some of their hits are kind of like these hits. Like all of Hey Monday's hits are like these pop ones. Chris says not pop punk, these poppier ones. But I think that punk bands can have these pop songs too.
Right. So I think that's what set Paramore a little apart. And I would agree. I think it's their pop sensibility that made them resonate a lot with fans of all types. So yeah, I would definitely agree that it's more poppy, especially when you juxtapose it with For a Pessimist. I mean, it's a different world as far as energy level, and it does seem a little bit bubblegummy after For a Pessimist, but it's just music is supposed to be fun, And if you're having,
right.
and if you're having,
but you're right. But music is not supposed to be just blah and boring, and that's the way I hear it. So we're never gonna agree on this because that's just obviously our different opinions. But I think that's where I'm coming from.
Agree on? The one thing we do agree on is I hate it when people clap during a song because
thank you.
Yes, not because I don't like that people are having a great time. It's because people do not often have rhythm. So, and it makes me recoil when people are just.
Yep. And then people are clapping and holding their video up to video the entire performance, so I can't see it.
Yeah, Justin Bieber got a lot of shit when he told people to stop clapping in his show. I say more power to him.
I'm now instantly a Justin Bieber fan. I think we should do a Justin Bieber album on this show.
You never know.
Invite it back for that.
Just for that. I'm coming hard on this one. I want to be passionate about these songs. I think that's what people want to hear, and I'm gonna start things off on this next one because I'm very passionate about it. With Hallelujah, which is the third track on this album, and I think, ladies and gentlemen, this song is awesome. I loved this song so much. I think that we've gotten back together after all of the breakup stuff before. This sounds like this is a get back together song overall. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's just from this is how I read it. Whoever wrote the guitar part of this song deserves a handshake. Personally, for me, I would write them a nice letter to tell them how I felt about the way this guitar sounded and how it made me feel. Wow. If this is Paramore, if this is what they can do, why don't they do more of this? Like this is this sound that they put out in this song is so dynamic, so unique, so different. It's the lyrical delivery by Haley in this song is strong. It's emotional. It hits you right to the core. It's that short burst of the guitar, that over the guitar line. That's amazing. Like the way that those are mixed together is just music to my ears. And by the way, I love that in the bridge, there's like this laser sound that was kind of a tertiary thing that I want to bring up, but really cool effects. Awesome song put together, and I just can't say enough good things about it. I could probably go on and on with the same things over and over again, but I think you guys get the idea. So, Steve, what did you think about this track?
Not as enthusiastic as you are on this one. I like it's kind of, I called it like a shrewd guitar intro. And to me, the star of this song is Haley's voice. I mean, she sounds fantastic. Other than that, it didn't like hit me all that hard. I was kind of surprised that they even put it out as a single. I think the song is pretty good, but it's not a standout to me in terms of some of the other stuff on this album. And I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I mean, vocally, this is the song on the album, I think. Just, she shows off her range, and it's insane. I mean, the woman is just incredible. This one is actually not one of my favorites on the album. So I love that Chris and I are kind of on opposite ends of this. What I do love is I love the intro. I love the dissonance of the chords. You can thank Josh Farro actually for writing this guitar part. During this era of Paramore, it was very much so Josh Farro writing the music, and then Haley would come in and write the vocal melodies and the lyrics. So yes, he was an incredible writer until the reckoning happened, but we don't talk about that in the Paramore fandom. But yes, so I would.
He left the band.
What was that?
I was telling Chris he left the band.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Yeah, because I didn't really look into that at all. So
he did. He left the band in a not so happy way.
Gotcha. It happens.
And
was it like half baked? Like fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool. Fuck you. I'm out.
Kinda. So Haley and Josh actually had a relationship. So a lot of this album is actually about Josh, and a lot of Brand New Eyes is actually about Josh. So it's kind of like a Fleetwood Mac moment there, where Haley's singing on stage to him, playing next to her. But yeah, Hallelujah it's vocally my favorite song to listen to for Haley. But if I'm going to throw this album on, I'm not immediately going to throw on Hallelujah.
And it's in that number 3 spot. That's usually like the, that's the power spot in the album.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny, Chris, I can make connections to things that, like, when we did So Much for Stardust like a year ago, and you liked Heaven, Iowa, that was like one of your favorite songs on that record. That gives me vibes on that record compared exactly to what Hallelujah is on this record. So you are consistent.
Well, that's good to hear. Consistent is my business, not misery. So
misery might be your business. I haven't kicked one off. Oh wait, no, I kicked the last one off. Okay.
But please, somebody else kick this off. I would be fine if you kicked me off this episode just for the next hour.
I'm gonna do it. Misery Business is a fucking great song. So I love the muted intro. Okay. I love it sounds like orchestral. I love her singing like lyrical delivery. I love the guitar line because I played it in Guitar Hero like a million times. Another song with a super strong chorus. The chorus has like multiple elements to it. And I think the bridge on this is definitely one of their strongest. I watched As Wildest Dreams Come True, not one of them. The bridge is fantastic. It slows down and then it goes into it almost like a scream. Not one of him in it. It's not a scream, but it just brings that up so high. There in the background, there are these like rolling drums that are fucking awesome. There's a guitar solo, fucking awesome. And I love the fact that where it starts on this muted, strange intro, it ends with this hard stop. Boom, fucking done. Mic drop. I'm out. In contrast to the beginning, there's no fade out. I thought it was really cool. And I think that they stopped doing this song for a while. Once a Warrior, Nothing More. She didn't like that. I'm gonna defer and let Krystin like just bring that up and school me a little bit. But I think that's, I don't know anything, but I kind of always thought that was a fun line to sing. But it is what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. So she actually got a lot of pushback on that with the feminist movement and everything like that. We don't call people whores anymore. So she just wanted to do that because 30-year-old Haley wasn't calling people whores anymore. 17-year-old Haley was, for sure. Do I still sing that lyric very loudly? Yes. But hella respect her for maturing. I mean, that's the thing, is this band has just evolved so much. And we literally got to see them grow up. So of course, 17-year-old Haley is going to have a different opinion than 30-year-old Haley. But
so does she replaces that lyric with something else when they do it live now?
She just kind of edits it. Once you're nothing more. Sorry.
I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, they were. I mean, just like any other band with their biggest song, they grew to freaking hate playing this song live. So they were just like, "Dear God, please, I don't want to play it another time." So they retired it for a while. And then it was Zach when the drummer, he left with his brother, and he actually came back. And when he came back, he said, "Hey, there's nothing wrong with playing the hits because they're fun. Like you can't please everyone, so let's do our own thing." So Zach is actually the individual that brought it back. And I know there's a lot of people happy about that, especially during their live set. They always bring a fan on stage with them to sing, specifically the bridge leading to the last chorus and outro. And it's always just the highlight of the show. So I love that song is still going so strong all this time later.
Nice. Very nice.
It's time for the misery business.
Thanks, Nick. You said Nick was the guy, right? That did that?
Zach. Although, you know what? Let's just thank some guy named Nick. Let's thank Nick.
I think Nick was the problem, if you want my opinion.
Nick, absolutely a problematic name.
Listen, look, I mean, if I could throw a song in the trash, this would be it. And it would be a trash can that would seal, because if you don't have one that seals, then you can kind of still hear the song out of the crack in the top of the trash can, because the trash can always has that little crack at the top that you kind of can still see. So it has to be one of those Rubbermaid ones that seal tight, so I don't have to hear this ever again. Ladies and gentlemen, I despise this song. I don't know why this is a song. I think it's tired. I think it was played out before it was played out. I don't think this song really hypes me up or calms me down. It basically just does nothing but make me upset. I think that, I'm not taking anything away from the band itself. Like, I think that the music is just arranged in a way that just doesn't strike my brain as good. Like, for some reason, I don't know whether it's the style of the song, whether it's the way they mix that like hectic nature with the chorus. Maybe I just don't like the chorus. I can't pinpoint it, but there is nothing redeeming about this song for me. Usually I could pick out something like, oh, well, the last 10 seconds is good, or maybe the bridge is a little bit different, and I'll take that. But I can't find anything here. And I never listen to this song. Anytime it comes on the radio, Guitar Hero, the iPod Shuffle, it doesn't matter. Like, it always gets skipped, and it always is one that I definitely think ruined my appreciation for this band. So I'm really serious here. Like, I feel like if this wasn't a song, I would feel differently about Paramore.
Strong words, strong opinions.
I love how we're just like, okay.
I mean, like this one, I feel maybe it was just because it was played out, but to me, this falls very close to the level of butt rock. And I know it's not butt rock, but it's close. Like, I just feel like it's on the fringe.
So where do you feel like it was played out, though? Like, did you hear, like, I never heard this on the radio, really. Maybe rarely.
Maybe I just didn't want to hear it ever, and I felt like it was played too much. Maybe it was 10 times. I don't know, Steve, but it just was definitely played out in my head.
Fair enough. It lives up to its title in Chris's mind.
I think the overall reason why people latched onto this song was just because in that time, you had Alanis Morissette giving us fuck you songs, but I think it was so cool to hear a powerful female in that space, in pop punk specifically, just giving us an angry banger. And I think people latched onto that, and it still rocks.
And I'm not saying anything about the concept of the song itself, or the fact that she delivers it in that angry way. Like, that's fine. Like, I have no problem with that, and more power to the people that like this song for that, which is cool. I just don't think it's a good song. It doesn't sound good to me, And so this is nothing against the talent of the band or anything like that. It's just, I wish they wouldn't. I think there's other songs on here that could have been this song, like in the space that it took, and would have done much better. But again, that's not what happened. So it is what it is.
Well, I think we covered misery. We covered Mizbiz in all its glory and non-glory with Chris. And maybe Chris is just only happy when it rains.
Yeah,
are they a fan of garbage?
I was going
to say,
poor Chris is just garbage, but whatever.
Ooh, shots fired.
Here we go. So now we're doing this. Okay.
You have the the lead singer, female fronted band with other men with the red hair. I feel like there's at least some sort of comparisons. And then there's a song called When It Rains.
Yeah, Haley definitely drew influence from Garbage. But I think early on her idol was definitely Gwen Stefani. Which they then opened their tour in, was that 2008, 2010, somewhere around there. But
and people say that the cover of this record looks like, what's it, Rocksteady or one of the No Doubt records.
Yeah, she drew a lot, and actually in some of their videos, she literally just steals looks from Gwen Stefani as a callback to her being compared to Gwen a lot. But yeah.
Does she draw comparisons to the Bananas Gwen Stefani or the No Doubt Gwen Stefani?
For sure, the No Doubt Gwen Stefani.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Go ahead, Steve.
That shit is bananas. I was going to let Krystin kick off what she thinks about the track When It Rains.
Let's go.
Oh, good Lord. I'm so glad because this is my favorite song of all time. So thank you for letting me start this. So this song has a lot of personal meaning to me. For anyone that has ever lost a friend young to suicide, I think this song is the perfect way to. She kind of took the words right out of my mouth that I just couldn't seek. Just the way that she doesn't understand, but she wants to. She's of course grieving, but the song is just basically the confusion of what comes after. So that's a very important song to me, and I have a tattoo for it.
That was actually what you said when we were like, "Are you a Paramore fan?" And you're like, "I have like 75 Paramore tattoos."
Is the tattoo like, what is the tattoo, a lyric or what is it? Is it a lyric
so I have two. So I have actually this one goes off of Let the Flames Begin, like the moon. Well, part 2 from Let the Flames Begin, like the moon we borrow our light. And When It Rains is on my ankle, and it's a little raindrop.
Nice.
I don't think I understood what the song was about. I mean, I listened to it a bunch, but hearing you say it and now looking at the lyrics, it makes a whole lot of sense. To me, it came off as like a softer, like a pop rock kind of like a ballad. I thought it was an enjoyable song, but not necessarily one that like gets me excited. I think it's just that the chorus is soft. The chorus is not particularly strong. And if it's a song about grieving and somebody you lost, then I guess that could make sense. I did really like the harmonies in the bridge, so I thought it was a pretty solid track here, number 5.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was a solid track. I think that it did delve into the poppy song, a poppy type sound, which is okay. I think that's, again, I'm not against pop music or anything like it. I think they did a good job with it here, partly because I really dig the tempo in this song, and I really like the strumming of the guitar behind the lyrics in the first verse. It kind of brought me into, that feeling or the theme of what the emotion, the ambiance, whatever the song is trying to communicate to us. I think that really got me to that, and more so the music than the lyrics for sure. But I think you gotta love that echo effect. So there's an echo effect or some sort of effect on the guitar. It sounds like an echoey type sound. It permeates the whole of this piece, which for me, like it's really cool. That continuity throughout, that you hear that strumming, that riff that has that echo sound. It starts at the beginning. And I think it rounds it out at the end. I love that, right? I love that. I love that throughout. And even though, like, again, it's a pop melody, this almost sounds like kind of Swifty in nature. But it's not like, it's not Taylor Swift, but it's in that direction. I think it has, on top of that, it has a certain edge to it that gives it that extra emotion that I really connect with. So once again, I'm a fan of Paramore, the sound and Haley's lyrical delivery here. And I think this is great work versus some other tracks that we've talked about so far in this album. So there you go.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like that you picked up on that earlier, Steve. It's a reoccurring theme for them, I feel like, to have these heavy lyrics over a very light, bright melody. And I feel like they've carried that on with them throughout their evolution. I mean, even into After Laughter, their album, that is like one of the most upbeat albums ever. But it is a heavy album lyrically. So yeah, I feel like this is definitely a start of them putting really heavy topics over very light and bright melodies.
For sure. For sure. So let's go ahead and move on, and let's let the flames begin. Steve, why don't you talk to us about this track?
I will begin the flames. I like the vibe of this song. It's got this, like, I called it an eerie guitar. Like, it sounds a little odd and strange. And it does start off like a little bit slow, but the chorus like really picks up the tempo. And the song, like, I feel like this is a song where when you get to the second chorus, you're like, holy shit, like this song has like hit its stride. They take the chorus and they expand it a little bit. And then the last chorus gets like even harder. I thought this is just a fun one. I think it's a pretty solid, it wasn't a single. I think it's a really solid album track here in the middle though.
What does it mean to vibe? You said that, like, what does vibing mean?
You don't know what that means?
And what does it mean?
It means you're just like appreciating it. Like you're just liking it.
You're just living in the moment, just taking it in.
Well, I think I said I like the vibe of this song. Like, I don't know. I like the tempo.
You said you were vibing.
I said I like the vibe of the song.
I thought you said you'd like to vibe.
Well, I have like notes that say like the vibe of this song, so I'm pretty sure that's what I said. But sure, I can vibe. I can, if you want to make it a verb, then I can. I was using it as a noun. I like the vibe, how it sounds, its ambiance, its overall experience to me. But if you want me to be a verb and you want me to vibe to this song, I certainly could too. I think that that's cool.
Why do you think people have to say that then? Can't they just say, I'm enjoying the moment right now?
This is like current, vernacular. This is what the kids say. They're vibing it.
Is what I just said not English language or language that can translate into other language?
I might say like, okay, boomer, like you don't get vibing.
I'm not a boomer.
It still fits.
I can't believe that.
You have young kids. You should know the lingo.
This is a pop punk dad podcast, Wingman Steve.
I understand that. But to not understand what vibing is?
It was a simple question, and you guys have to attack me.
I'm sorry. Did I answer your question, though? It's the overall ambiance of the song.
I don't know if I believe. I feel like there's more to it. I'm going to find out. I'm going to ask around.
Please do a survey of all the people you know and ask them what vibing means and record the answers.
Hey, guys, this one really has a killer chorus. I really think this is the best chorus on the entire record. Okay? I do. I feel like it does. It delivers different. It really just has a different sound that struck me in a way that gave a couple thumbs up. So I want more Haley and Paramore. I'm trying my best, Krystin. I write down Haley because that's what I do in a lot of these reviews.
You're doing great.
He's growing. Just like
review too. Great. But I want more Haley like this. But actually, I'm going to stick behind that because I mean that. I want more Haley like this because I want more lyrical delivery like this. This is what I want more from her on more songs. I want less of Misery Business and more of Let the Flames Begin. Why? Because it just shows more of what she can do. And again, back to the music, the riff is great. It sets the mood of the song. It's kind of foreboding, but still kind of calm before that storm of a chorus comes in. So the dichotomy between the verse and the chorus, it's really cool how it kind of goes from that foreboding to the just big crash of emotion and energy that comes in at that point in time. So I think that really is just a great sound, and it brings a lot of depth to the song itself. And I really like how that I think it's some kind of effect on the guitar, how it kind of echoes into the fade at the end. So front to back, I think it's a really solid track. So Krystin, what did you think?
This is my absolute favorite song that Paramore plays live. If you guys have not seen a live version of this on YouTube, I challenge you to go view it. So essentially what they do is they create an outro, and it's a much longer song live. They create this super powerful outro, a lot of floor toms, a lot of depth. And then at the end, Haley she's literally on her knees at the end, and her vocals are soaring. It's insane. So yes, please, if you haven't seen a live version of this song, I challenge you to go look it up on YouTube. It's also a very important song to me because I love how they continued it with part 2 on their self-titled album, which they also created an outro for. I think that this song just shows their chops. I mean, it's aggressive, but in a way that just kind of leaves you in awe. Like you're not just angry to it. You're vibing.
I knew it was coming. I knew it.
Vibing, bro. Vibing.
It's vibing, man. But yeah, no, this is my favorite song to watch Paramore play live. It's incredible.
Yeah, but let's strike that from the record because that plays into something later. So we don't know whether it's your favorite song.
She just said play live, not favorite song.
Okay.
Right.
Yes. Don't upset me like that, please.
No.
Yes, he was triggered for a second.
Yes, we wouldn't do that. Great stuff, though. I think that we are all in agreement that that was a good track. So good stuff. Look, hey, we're liking this album a little bit, right? Well, it's not all bad.
It's not all bad.
No,
not at all. More than halfway through here.
There's a mixture of things. I think we can go on to the next one, right? I think we gushed enough about Let the Flames Begin and we'll talk a little bit about Miracle. I don't think the song is a miracle. I think it's kind of boring again. I think it's too samey throughout. I think it's just tries to bring up the tempo a little bit to make up for the fact that musically it just doesn't deviate all that much. The only thing I'll give it, and I said this earlier about trying to find something positive in the song, I kind of like the way that it ends. The last 15 seconds is fairly intense. I just don't think it's enough to bring it back. For me, this is a A1 numero uno skip on this album. However, it does not make me upset. I just don't want to hear it.
We're glad you're not upset. Krystin?
You know what? I think I'm going to shock you guys because I'm going to agree a lot with what Chris said. So I know. Hallelujah. So when I was growing up, I didn't really appreciate this song a lot. It was definitely a skip on this album for me. As I listened to the album in full more, I did kind of get a little more acclimated to it. And I don't necessarily skip it as much anymore, but I think that's more due to nostalgia than anything else when this comes on. Exactly. So when I'm putting nostalgia aside and I'm objectively looking at this song, yeah, it's definitely one of the skips on this album for me, for sure.
Well, I think we're gonna go 3 for 3 here. This is their least listened to song from this album on Spotify, and I guess I agree with you guys. I get it. To me, it kind of just sounded a little bit like Pop Punk Song 101, like the basics, like kind of put together there. The chorus is just okay. It didn't sound like there was a ton of emotion to it. And it was just not something that dug any hooks into me at all. So I'm not going to say that it's terrible. It was fine, but it's not something that I would tune back to necessarily. So I think we all got the same vibe from it.
Is that going to be a thing now?
Yep, it's a thing.
I'm going to try to put vibe into everything I say now.
I try and do that purposely. I like to talk about vibes.
Well, that's fine. That's fine. I think the next song is fine for that. Like you can say that probably a couple different times. I don't want to go first. I'll let you guys decide because I got to think about a couple things here before I say my stuff.
I don't have all that much to say. So Crush, Crush, Crush was a pretty big song for them. I mean, this was a single. I feel like it's very popular. Again, all the karaoke emo night things, they always play this one. Someone always sings it. There's a lot of really cool guitar hooks in this song. But I think that it's a good song. It's a good single, but to me, it's the weakest of their big hits. Like, I don't find it to be particularly strong as one of their hits, but it's still entertaining. To me, it stands out in the pre-chorus. Taped over your mouth, scribbled out the truth with their lies, you little spies. I feel like that part is better. I don't super like the crush, 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 2, 3. I'm not a super big fan of that. Like, it's fine, but it doesn't like get me excited. And then the actual chorus, I feel like is less entertaining than that pre-chorus. So overall, it's a pretty cool song. It's fine for one of their hits, but it is the weakest of their good song hits. Bad mouth, sorry. So Krystin, you can go second.
Yeah, so when this album first came out, this was definitely a grower for me. When I first listened to the album all the way through, I did not get Crush, Crush, Crush. And especially when it was released as a single, I was like, really? I feel like there's so many other songs in the album that would just, like Let the Flames Begin, that would just be a standout. It did grow on me, so it's not necessarily a skipper for me. If I do a karaoke night, this is my go-to Paramore song to sing at a karaoke night. I think that's all I have to say about it. It's not, I don't think there is a bad song on the album, which I know we disagree on, Chris, but, but for me, Miracle and Crush, Crush, Crush are maybe my least favorite.
I have that pause in there for a reason. Like, I don't even know what we're talking about here. Like, you guys, you're so far off the mark. It's crazy. Like, I respect opinions. I said that already, but I do not understand what you're trying to say. This song is the best of the hits that have come out of the three by far, by a mile, probably by 10 miles or 1,000 miles. I don't know what she's trying to talk about in this song. I have no idea what this is. Can you explain to me what's happening here? Krystin, I know you can, because I have no idea. Is somebody getting, like, are they taken? Is somebody in a room with their mouth taped? And why is that? And what's the problem here?
Do you know, I'm probably going to get roasted by the fandom because the fandom rolls deep. So if anybody's listening to this, they're going to be like, oh my God, she doesn't know this. I don't. I never really looked into the lyrics.
We're sharing this episode on every Paramore fan club. It's like subreddit that exists.
Fantastic. Well, you know what? I don't know what I don't know. And I never really looked into these lyrics because I was never really super into the song. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, she says, keeping them here, and it makes no sense at all. They taped over your mouth, scribbled out the truth with their lies, your little spies. So maybe it's a jealous boyfriend or girlfriend. I have no clue. I don't know what's happening, But I don't care because I don't really care that much about lyrics all the time. Sometimes I do, but a lot of times I don't. I am always down for a synthy vibe to start off a song, and this song has that. So I am all for that from the get-go. I love the melody leading into the chorus. It is such a cool, hip, vibing melody that just feels good. It hits hard. The song has a super awesome edge to it. It's not poppy, like in the sense of a pop song. It's not bubblegum, I should say. It has that little bit darker edge to it, which is really cool. Haley, again, like I just said, she delivers a darker lyrical vibe, I think, in this one that you don't necessarily hear in a lot of the other tracks. Much better. This is so much more well done than Misery Business. If you want to say that's dark, I think this is the better version of that. This song tells a story that I don't understand, but it's telling a story with the music, right? I think it doesn't tell the story lyrically about anything, but it tells a story with the music that I am here for and want to listen to from front to back every single time. Crush, Crush, Crush is awesome.
So I'm going to make an educated guess. Off of their first album, the song Conspiracy was a callback to not agreeing with their label at the time. And Let the Flames Begin also had similar themes. So if I were to guess, this would be kind of a callback to their label censoring them a little bit.
Interesting. Okay. I mean, there is that whole like rock and roll baby thing that I didn't vibe to, but yeah, I mean, that's in there.
Fine.
It is in there.
We'll take it. But if you're wrong, they're going to roast you. And I won't get roasted on this one at all because it's all going to be centered towards you. So I'm sorry. Yeah. But I think you can take it.
I accept it.
Yeah. Everybody's on my side. All the fandom out there is going to agree with me. I think I've changed a lot of minds and a lot of opinions with this show. I know I have. And that's okay, right? It's okay. That's
what he does, folks.
It's okay to think about things in a different way after I say so. It just is. Steve has on many occasions.
Song.
Yes, I agree.
What did I do?
I agree. You did. You're not broken, is what you are. You're strong.
Thank you.
That's you persevered.
Nice. I unfortunately I don't have a whole lot of notes on this next song. We Are Broken. All I kind of wrote down is that it's a nice piano ballad. I don't have anything really too much more on that one, but I have more on the next two.
Okay. Well, Krystin, you probably have a lot more to say than me, but all I'll say is this, and this is written down. This is previous to your comment at the beginning of this show. If I wanted to listen to an Avril Lavigne song, I would just listen to Avril Lavigne. So that's really all I have to say here.
Okay. I find this song beautiful. I think vocally, she has done, actually, there was a song with her vocal coach, Brett Manning, that was on YouTube, where she was working out the vocals of this particular song. And broken down and isolated, I think this is a very strong song vocally. I know I keep referencing their live show, but this song live, they just take it to a whole new level. But so I will say this song definitely gives me like youth group vibes, because this is when Paramore was heavily, still, they weren't outwardly, but they were a faith-based band.
I never knew that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Yep. So Paramore was very much so a faith-based band. They never not like under oath, or they never really pulled themselves to that category. But yeah, behind the scenes, they're definitely. So I think this is a callback to maybe their time in youth group.
Yeah, I did have more to say, actually. I don't look, if you're saying the song's beautiful because of the music, then fine. Like I wouldn't take that away from you, but what the hell does it mean to say to somebody that your arms are like towers? Like what does that what does that mean? She keeps saying that, right? Your arms are like towers. What does that mean? Tell me. But your arms tower over you? Like, wouldn't it be like you tower over me, not just your arms? Like, does this gentleman have like 6-foot arms? That's
maybe his arms are just up in the air.
Why would they be up in the air?
I view that as needing a shield, tower over me.
If somebody approached you with their hands in the air, and just stood in front of you,
that is kind of like a faith like pose. Arms in the air,
It is.
There's an emoji like that.
Yeah, but you're usually like facing the you're not facing the congregation, you're facing the front, or like she's saying they're towering over her, so apparently this person is looking at her like they're face to face, but his whatever, the arms are in the air, and I don't understand this situation. I wish she would explain a little bit more, because I'm lost. And again, this person must be like a basketball player or something if they have the long arms like she's talking about. So I do not have long arms.
This is probably their biggest faith-based song, because I've always related it to her calling upon Sky Daddy to give her guidance, comfort, and grace, and to shield her, Know what I mean?
Could be.
Maybe. I don't tower over anybody though. That's the problem. Maybe
I definitely don't. I'm like 5'2".
Right. Maybe that's my issue. I don't know. But okay, Steve, so you didn't have much to say about that song, so I'll give you the chance to say more about the next one.
Fences. If you read it too quick, you might think it says feces, but it says fences, because it's just
that's a different thing.
One letter difference, but
much different.
The vibe of this song is fucking awesome. It's very much like bass driven with the drums. It almost has this like, I don't know, like a swing vibe. It reminds me, it gives me like Green Day vibes, but it also has this like, it's very dramatic musically. And I relate this a whole lot to Panic at the Disco and their first album. Like I just, again, think the vibe of this song is very, very dramatic. It's funny enough, I don't think the chorus is like super strong, but I still just love, I really love like this entire thing. I think the way that they're closing this album out is quite strong.
Hi, Krystin.
Yeah, honestly, I'm going to echo a lot of what you said. I just thought when this song first came on during my first listen through, I was like, oh, this is way different than the rest of the album. It's definitely more swing step. I love that it's bass driven. I'm gonna go against you on the chorus though. I think that it's a pretty heavy chorus, and it's one that I am fond of. So I would say I would echo everything you said, except
you love the chorus. Okay.
Yeah, I think the chorus is banging.
It's kind of hard for me to like a song that I don't think the chorus is that good, but this is one of those.
Noted.
Yeah, guys, I can hear the fedoras and the chain wallets come alive when this song comes on. Man, I don't know. Like this wasn't even during the heyday of that swing revival, which, if we all remember, that lasted for about 6 months in the late 90s. I didn't like that too much. So I did not like this too much because I don't want to hear that. Now, here's the thing about this song, though. So despite that, what's really interesting about this song is how it transitions. And it transitions from that to something that I think was pretty damn cool. Like, I agree with Krystin. I think this is the second best chorus on the entire record. I think it really is. And so you go from something that I was kind of like, oh, not again, a swing song. Like, oh, please don't let this be. And oh, I could see the video, and It's the band with the big cello, and Haley has like a suit on, a zoot suit, and it's a smoky room, and that's the video because
She's
that's
throwing
hip
back
and
a bottle of
cool.
beer.
Oh, maybe, or no, she's singing to like an empty room, or like it's like 3 tables with a guy also with glasses on inside in the dark. And, he's cool, but he's by himself and he's sipping whatever whiskey or whatever they do at those bars. And it's just the song, and it's boring. And it's the same thing I've seen 100 times. That's not a lot of times, I guess. I should have probably used 1,000. But it's not just that, right? It goes into something much better as you kind of get into that first chorus and as you move through the rest of the song. So I think the transition there was monumental. And it has a guitar, amazing guitar and I put here crashes with every riff. Like, I love the way that guitar kind of just comes in and explodes. So that's just like, wow, they're able to transition just what you think is one thing into something completely different. They still hold that same tempo, which is very interesting how they did that. But they made that tempo kind of weave into something that wasn't that swing song as you kind of get through the rest of the track. So really nice job. Cool guitar solo on this. Love the drum accompaniment. So all in all, like 70% of the song is a banger. 30% is not.
That's a majority banger, for the record.
Yes, sir.
All right.
You gave us just a full picture of that room too, like in a speakeasy. Incredible.
Yes, I watch a lot of stuff. So
he paints good pictures too.
I watch a lot of stuff.
Well, I watch a lot of MTV. Like I'm from the time where, like, I want to watch videos now, and I turn on the video channel, and then I come back in, and the video channel's turned off, and I say, why is the video channel turned off? And the answer is we didn't want to watch that. So then I turned it back on because I was like, I'm not done watching the videos, but nobody wants to watch them. And I don't understand. Is it so boring to watch music videos in 2024?
Is there a channel that plays them in 2024?
Yeah, I want my 90s. I want my 80s on VH1. Like it's there.
I don't have the cable, so I don't have the traditional TV.
Well, I keep the cable just for that channel.
Fair enough.
That I watch one time every 6 months. But when I do, I want to watch it, and I want to listen, and I want to see. That's back in the day, I used to watch a lot more, and so did you. You guys watched all these music videos, right?
Absolutely.
So you come up with ideas for what, and when you come from that era, you come up with ideas from what things should be that didn't have music videos. So I have a lot of ideas, and we can talk about that on another show. I think I've brought some of the ideas here to this show, not this show tonight, but other shows. But you come up with some cool ones. So that's what I got for there, even though that was kind of, I painted a bad picture. But let's wrap up this album with the last song, Born for This. I'm not going first because I have nothing to say.
Krystin, you kicked off the album, you end the album.
Sure thing. So Born for This was another grower for me. I loved the punchiness of this song. So I was immediately not offended by this song in any means. But I think I perked up a little bit with the callback to Pressure. Pressure was their first single off of All We Know Is Falling, their first album. So I liked that lyric callback to Pressure. I think Born for This is a banger. Like I said, I don't think there's a bad album on this, or a bad song on this album. I have bad mouth now too. And
it's contagious.
It's contagious. But Born for This isn't my favorite necessarily, but I do like how it wraps it up. I don't like it as much as an ending song. I think to me it gives off more of a middle of the album song. Yeah, I see. What are you thinking? Give it to me.
Wait a minute before he goes. Wait, he's thinking. This is a question directly for you, Krystin. So you use the term grower. Can a grower be a banger? Because you said this was a grower, but then it's a banger. And does that mean that you're vibing to the song because of that?
I'm so glad you asked that. A grower can absolutely be a banger. Just because there's so many songs that when I listen to it for the first time, I don't get it. I listen to it again, I'm like, okay. I think some things just take time to really sink in. And this was one of those songs for me. So it was a grower and a shower.
I feel like that's something else. Steve, do you
Well,
yeah,
why I was scratching my mustache and making basically the thinking person emoji face is because Krystin, you had said that you weren't sure about this as a last song, but I mean, this is the perfect last song. In fact, the chorus says everybody sing like this is the last song that you'll ever sing. So I think that this is a banging, showing, vibing, great last song. Like to me, this is like when you do like Ballad of the Lost Romantics and you're toasting, this is Here's to Us Fools. I feel like it's a perfect way to cap off the album. And I feel like it does. This is song last. This is not song middle, at least to me. It's got gang vocals right off the start. This song just has like mega energy. It's got a great chorus, lots of energy. The only thing I would have taken out is that little like, we want the airwaves back. We want the airwaves back. Like that little part, I would have just knocked the whole thing out. Other than that, I think this song is super enjoyable and it's the perfect last song for this album.
I didn't really expect for you to be so bullish on this one.
I was born for this, baby.
I don't agree. I mean, I just feel like this was, hey Paramore, write a Paramore song, and Haley, you do a little bit of that stuff you always do, and hey guitar guy, like just kind of go do something like this, but not quite like this, but just like that. Like that's the way I kind of. But I do say this, and I was thinking about it while I was listening to it several times. Is I get the grower aspect of this song. I can see where this would be one of those tracks that, with time, you would really get into. I don't feel like at first glance, like for me, this is one of the songs that just wows you. I think it blends in with everything else too much. And it doesn't even have anything to do with it. It's at the end of the album. I just musically, I can't pick anything out of here that's really just substantial enough for me to say that this is a memorable track to end this album. So I get where this one would get to you over time, but I do not think that it's one that hits you right off the bat. So that's my final take. And unfortunately, it kind of ended the album on a whatever.
I think they could like close a set with this song. Like I feel that strongly about it. Like this is a great, like I like when they, just because it's the last song and they mention the last song, All American Rejects has a song called The Last Song, but I feel like this one just has so much energy that it could be like a show closer.
You haven't been so excited about a last song since Constantine.
Was Constantine a last song?
Yes. In my mind, it was.
Okay.
It was a last song. Wasn't a last song?
On the sampler? It could have been.
I don't know. Something we listened to.
I'd have to look it up because it was only on that sampler.
I remember it being a last song. I think it was a bonus track somewhere. And maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
It was a bonus track on a Japanese release.
That's what it was.
Corporate.
But
we wouldn't have listened to that.
I listened to that.
We listened to Welcome to the Family.
How do you know what I listened to?
And it was not the last track.
You don't know what I listened to, and that's what I'm referencing.
I'm calling you out. Incorrect.
You don't know what kind of media I have from other countries.
You do not have the Japanese version of whichever something corporate.
I'll prove it to you. Next time you're around, I'll show you what I have. I have it.
He's going to show it to me.
He's going to show it to you.
He's going to show it to me.
What are we talking about? This is ridiculous. And you know what? We're going to go from this conversation to a much better one. This has been a very polarizing discussion, folks, because we have had some differing opinions for sure about some of these songs. And that makes this next segment even better because this next segment is ranking it. This is where we get to rank our favorite stuff off of what we just talked about. And even though that some of us may have alluded to songs they really liked, that does not mean it gave away anything. It doesn't. It just means that it might have thrown you off the path. It might have been a clue as to what could be in the top 3. But for today, we're going to go ahead and rank our top 3 favorite songs off of the album Riot by Paramore. And as per usual, the guest goes first. So, Krystin, for you, just in case you didn't know the rules to ranking it, it's 3 top songs in order from 3 to 1. Okay?
Absolutely.
So you are up.
We have at number 3, for a pessimist, I'm pretty optimistic. This song is just, God, the energy. It just, like, I want to wake up to this song every day. So that's going to be my number 3. My number 2 would be When It Rains, for my personal connection to the song. Number 1, Let the Flames Begin. I just don't think this song could be beat on this album. The energy, the punchiness of the guitars, it just has everything for me.
All right. Good. Number 1, 2, and 3. Steve, I have no idea which direction you're going to go. And actually probably have a good idea of one of them. But I really want to know what your top 3 are.
Well, I'm glad that you are anticipating my ranking it. And I have 4 songs, and none of those 4 songs are Krystin's top 3. I had to give a tie to number 3 because I think that the singles on this record, as like a not huge Paramore fan, as a ancillary Paramore fan, I think the singles have to be recognized. But I can't choose between That's What You Get in Misery Business. So they tie. They tie at number 3. Both of those songs are amazing. And I went through how I thought about them earlier. So they're awesome. The end of this album is just really fucking good. My number 2 song is Fences, and my number 1 song is Born for This. I think the album ended really strong, and I don't know. Maybe I'm just a sucker for that shit where like the album's ending and you're talking about the last. I can't put real words to it, but I really dug both of those songs. The vibe of Fences, the energy of Born for This. So that's my 2 and 1.
I'm looking up which album Constantine's the last track on real quick here. Okay. Is it my turn?
He's going to show it to you.
This is so easy. I'm so excited about this one because I think there was a definitive top 3. No doubt about it. Number 3 was Crush, Crush, Crush. I had to throw that in there, right? You heard the passion that I had for this song, and it just permeates throughout. You guys did not feel the same way, and I do not understand that. Number 2 was Let the Flames Begin. This is a fan favorite on this show, so even though I generally don't jump on that bandwagon, I think that it's hard not to for such a great track. And number 1 is a song that you guys also did not love, and that's Hallelujah. Now, granted, you guys loved the song vocally, but you didn't give it its due for being the number 1 on this album. I would give this suggestion to anybody that wants to listen to this album for the first time to go to this track first. I hope they listen to me and they don't listen to you.
Dude, so out of our 3 ranking it's, I cheated and had an extra one, but we had 9 of the 11 tracks. So I always say this, but if you have an album where 3 people listen to the exact same album over and over and over, and all of them have like and 9 of the 11 end up on their favorite track lists, I think I would categorize this as a pretty good album.
I would have to agree.
You
Krystin
almost
gave
said
some
banger.
Finger guns.
You almost said banger. I saw you.
I'm
I don't know.
Trying to hold it in.
I don't know. I'm still not convinced, but I am convinced of something, that maybe I did categorize this band as all bad, and I probably shouldn't have done that before listening to more of their stuff. So I will rescind that all bad designation for now. However, I am going to listen to more Paramore to see whether or not this continues or if it goes uphill, downhill, or kind of stays the same. But we'll see. I look
Krystin,
forward to it.
What is the next record that Chris should listen to, in your opinion?
I was going to say, let me be your guide. So I would say the next album to check out would be Brand New Eyes, followed by All We Know Is Falling. All We Know Is Falling, even though it's their first album, it has some absolute, just hard-hitting songs.
The band was 9 years old when they recorded that.
Basically, they were infants. It was ridiculous. They had to change their diapers and everything. So yeah, I think Brand New Eyes is, I think, a really cool. Well, if you know the backstory of it literally being a Fleetwood Mac situation where Haley is just pissed off at Josh Barrow, it makes it a little bit more of an interesting album. But so I would go Brand New Eyes. Then I would go All We Know, and from there I wouldn't know your vibe. So the self-titled album is actually my least favorite Paramore album.
All right, so self-titled. I'll write that down.
That's the one he'll like, yeah.
That, I just think it's all over the place. Trust me, I absolutely it has Ain't It Fun on it. So clearly it's not all bad. But I think it's the most disorganized album that they've put out. Some of them I thought were going to be growers, were not. They were not showers.
I don't think I like Ain't It Fun. I think that's in the same category as Misery Business to me. Actually, that's a song to me that kind of sounds like no, it doesn't sound like That's What You Got. I don't know. It just sounds like they're singles that I'm not a big fan of. So
I think it's close to That's What You Get.
Maybe that's what I was going to go to. But then I was thinking about it. Is it? I don't know. I haven't heard it in a while. So
it's pure pop.
Yeah.
That's how it comes down to.
And there's some good pure pop songs, and there's ones that just don't resonate in my ear, and maybe that's why. But good stuff. So in your opinion, because you are the expert of Paramore, I am not qualified to answer this question. Steve, I will not speak for you. But how do you feel like this album ranks against the other Paramore albums?
Absolutely. So it's hard for me because I'm such a nostalgia queen. This album is, I think, the most important Paramore album to me. Is it my favorite? Not necessarily. So my favorite Paramore album is actually After Laughter. A lot of people would debate me on that, but I would say that Riot is my number 2.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have an opinion, Steve, or no?
I do not have an informed opinion that I could put this against others. All I can say is that I know of this album's title more than I knew of any others, so I knew it was an important album. But no, I have not listened to the whole discography where I could make any sort of opinion on it.
My answer is yes.
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 I think I would listen to Newfound Glory before I would listen to this.
Wow. Oh gosh. That you just changed like the entire sentiment of the whole episode.
Those is fighting words.
If you know Chris, those is fighting words.
Look, I don't know why. Like I don't know. I mean,
you don't
connect.
You do know that Chad and Haley Williams were an item at a time, right?
No, I did not know that. So good.
And it ended very poorly.
Okay.
Did they get married? They were married, right?
Yeah.
They were married.
Yeah, for a very short time.
Well, so she's never coming on this show.
I just remember I went to see Newfound Glory and I was with a friend and he was like, I'm going to go upstairs and try and meet Haley Williams and steal her away from Chad. And it didn't work out, but he had bad intentions.
I literally didn't know that.
Yes.
So I didn't, not about your friend, but I didn't know they were together. So I just said that because Newfound Glory is another band that I don't necessarily like that much. And I've been very vocal about that on the show. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I just and it's not like it's incredibly too far away from each other. So maybe that'll change with time. But for right now, I think that's my answer. But again, I'll stick by the fact that this exercise brought up Paramore a little bit more than what it was. And I think really the only song that I remember her on for the most part, doesn't she on that one rap song, Airplanes? Was that her?
It absolutely is her.
There you go.
Yep. And she was on Zed's Stay the Night. So she
is.
So she did a little stint in EDM.
I like that song. I like that Zed song. See, I was vibing to that one. All right. There we go.
See, he was vibing.
He certainly was.
Man.
Well, Krystin, thank you so much for joining us. I think that we certainly picked the right person to talk about Paramore, and thank you for joining us for Fueled by March and kicking it off with Paramore's Riot. I know that you are organizing a lot of fun events in the North Carolina area. Do you want to talk about those? Give a plug? Tell people to look at you somewhere?
Sure, absolutely. So I'm with a group called Get Sad Y'all, and we are an event company / promoter around the area. We have ventured regionally, but we normally like to stay in the Raleigh and Charlotte areas. We have a lot of really cool things coming up, but what we have announced, we recently had our emo prom and we brought bands back. So we host local emo nights around Raleigh, Durham, and Charlotte. And we used to have local bands open up our emo nights. We have them back. So yeah, check us out if you're in Raleigh, Durham, or Charlotte.
Tell people the at Get Sad Y'all.
Yeah, at Get Sad Y'all. We also have merch. I am usually at the merch table slinging things. So yeah, check out our web store. We actually have some pretty cool designs, and I'm not just saying that because I'm biased. But yeah, if you go to getsadyall.com, you can pick up some merch, and you can check out what events we have coming up. Emo Trivia is something we are also doing in April. So we're venturing out.
Booking ticket to Raleigh, Durham.
I don't believe in emo trivia. I think that there's a lot of problems with it. So we'll talk about that offline.
Please do. I would love to hear.
Yeah, but thanks for coming on. This was great. I think you were the perfect person to talk about this band with. So we look forward to future conversations with Krystin on the show. Go check her out in the Carolinas. It's an awesome place too. I've been there many, many times. And for all of you out there that enjoy the show today, stay tuned, because I'll tell you what, in March, we have a lot of cool stuff planned as part of this series. If you're a fan of Fueled by Ramen, I think you're going to really enjoy it. And even if you don't know a ton of bands that are on Fueled by Ramen and you're listening to a pop punk podcast, that's okay too. Listen in. You might find something you like. And if you like the show, we want to hear from you. So check us out on the socials, Instagram, Facebook. If you ever heard of Facebook, I think that's probably a little less popular than Instagram. But most important to me is our Discord. I consider that part of our socials, right? That's where you can interact with us live. I'm on that fairly often. Steve's on it almost every day, I think. But we want to talk to you guys. We want to know about your thoughts and feelings on the show. Maybe what you'd like to see in future miniseries of High School Never Ends. And really just converse with us as part of the community. So check us out there. You can connect to all of those socials through our hub. Just go to www.hsnepod.com, and that will link you to all of those things that I just talked about.
Absolutely. And if you have not given us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please go ahead and do that. That would be super cool. And you can write a review and say how much you enjoyed this episode and all of our episodes. That would help us in the algorithms and make us your friend. We also have merch available at hsnepod.com. We have hoodies and t-shirts and hats and mugs and all that good stuff. Fueled by March will continue next week. What album will we choose? Until then, keep on rocking those dad bods, throw up your rock hands, and blast the pop punk.
Scott and over here, along with
Jake Lloyd Bacon. we're both actors and comedians, but far more importantly, we're both professional wrestling fans.
Pro wrestling is a blast. It is over the top, it is ridiculous, it is comedic, dramatic, and everything in between.
And so is our show. We talk about old wrestling.
We talk about new wrestling.
We talk about wrestling in the future.
We talk about wrestling in our fantasies.
So tune in at pwpowskis.com or wherever you're listening to this podcast right now.
It's Dragon